The Houston Texans cannot stop crying and blaming the refs after losing to the Chiefs in the divisional round of the playoffs. And in this video, I'm going to show a compilation of all the Texans players and coaches that claim that this game was rigged against them from the very beginning. And you will not believe what they said. You guys are listening to the KC Sports Report. I'm your host, Michael Darcy. I'm a local Kansas City-based content creator who creates Chiefs content on a daily basis, so hit that like button and subscribe. Today's video is going to be a great one. With that being said, let's go ahead and preface all the clips that I'm going to show and preface all of the conversation that we're about to have by saying that the officiating in yesterday's game was not great. And I don't think that it was great necessarily for either party. Now, the Chiefs did benefit on a couple of roughing the passer calls on Patrick Mahomes, one of which was kind of a phantom call where two Texans players ended up colliding while Patrick Mahomes was sliding. And it had all of the NFL world just up in arms saying that the Chiefs just get all the calls and it's rigged against the Texans and blah, 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 blah. But I do want to say that I think that this game was poorly officiated, and there were calls on both sides, but the Chiefs did benefit from two roughing the passer calls. But with that being said, those two roughing the passer calls is not the reason the Chiefs won this game. The Texans did not deserve to win this game. They were not the better football team. And you know that by the fact that their kicker missed 3 kicks, he got 1 blocked, he missed an extra point, and then he missed a 55-yard field goal, which, given the circumstances of the weather in this game, they should not have even been attempting. They also allowed 8 sacks for this Chiefs defense. That offensive line was garbage. And so the Texans did not deserve to win this football game. But I want to first show this tweet from Darius Butler, who's on the Pat McAfee show a lot, but I think it perfectly sums up what I'm trying to say. Yes, the Chiefs had some calls go their way, but they were the better team. They made big plays when they needed to, and I could not agree more. Again, there were some interesting calls that went for this Chiefs team, but it was really only the two. It was really only on Patrick Mahomes and the roughing the passer. And honestly, that's something that we've seen go against the Chiefs in the past. The 2018 AFC Championship game with Tom Brady, the phantom call on Chris Jones, this is the kind of stuff that happens when you leave it up to officiating in the playoffs. The Texans are screaming and crying their bloody heads off when they were not good enough to win this football game. And in fact, I want to go ahead and show this stat because everyone says that the Chiefs just get all the calls and the refs are on their side. This is coming from the Associated Press from Josh Dubow. He says since Patrick Mahomes became starting QB for the Chiefs in 2018, KC has been penalized for 693 more yards than their opponents, playoffs included. That's the 4th worst penalty yard differential in that span. And this is obviously replying to a tweet saying that Houston had 8 penalties and Kansas City had 3. Houston did not play a great game yesterday, and they did that because they just didn't end up showing up and making the right plays when it mattered. I understand that we're going to hear the roughing the passers and Patrick Mahomes flopping out of bounds. Listen, that's the kind of stuff that when you're playing at home in a playoff game, it doesn't matter who it is. I expect to see Josh Allen getting the very same calls tonight in that game. And another thing, just a week ago, Josh Allen ended up going to his bench frustrated that, he didn't end up getting a call, and a referee came over to the bench and patted him on the back and said, "I'm sorry I missed that one." Are you insane? Are you kidding me? And there's outrage that the Chiefs get all of the calls. So it just does not make sense. And I want to show this tweet from our very own Jalen Watson, who absolutely had me laughing out loud, saying, "I miss when grown men took their losses like a man. A new day, a new age, though." So Jalen Watson is coming from the top rope. Talk that talk, Jalen. Like, I could not agree more with what he just said. We've seemed to got to the point where NFL fans and specifically players are trying to find every excuse in the book for why they lost. And it's easy. It is easy to blame the officiating. And it's easy to blame the officiating when you're not the better football team, when you don't do enough to win. The kicker missing 3 kicks, Fairbairn has got to make those. The offensive line allowing 8 sacks is ridiculous. If you give up 8 sacks, you do not deserve to win the football game. So I feel like I've kind of, yapped long enough. I want to go ahead and get into this compilation of the Houston Texans crying after losing to the Chiefs yesterday. You are going to absolutely love this.
We knew going into this game, man, it was us versus everybody. Right? When I say everybody, it's everybody, all of whatever. Everybody, the naysayers, the doubt, right? Everybody.
Everybody know how it is playing up here. You can never leave it into the refs' hands. But I mean, the whole world see, man, like what it is, bro. But it is what it is. Like I said, when it comes down to it, you can never leave it into the refs' hands, man, and things like that. But it's all good, though.
We knew it was going to be us against the refs going into this game. And, I talked to you guys early this week. And I was just saying, man, we got to go out there and we got to do us better. And, in some instances we didn't do that, in some instances we did. So we just got to keep going, man. Next offseason, get the guys together, man. And, everybody just coming together and just keep building that team chemistry and get past this hump.
Yeah, those things are tough. I'm not going to go back and forth on what I thought was a call, what I thought wasn't a call, and, it's one of those things you kind of know what's up before you even walk in the arena.
So again, the Houston Texans are absolutely melting down over this loss. And I think it's just so funny that it's just the same shit, different year. We're hearing the exact same thing, that the Chiefs get all of the help from the officials. But if you just looked at this game, if you looked at the box score, you wouldn't really truly understand how many opportunities the Texans squandered to win this football game. Like the 4th and 10 that they elected to go for, ended up not getting because CJ Stroud got sacked. Like, that's a game-changing play. The kicker, Fairbairn, again, I don't know how many times I have to mention this, missing 3 kicks in this game. That's why you lost. You didn't lose because the refs screwed you over. You lost because you guys could not score with your kicker. Your quarterback was getting sacked and pressured on damn near every drop back. They did not do enough to win this football game. And it's evident because they put up 12 points on offense before the Chiefs gave them 2 points with that safety. So I'm so sick and tired of hearing how the Chiefs just get all of the calls. And again, they did get those roughing the passer calls on Patrick Mahomes, but that's the type of thing that next week against either Buffalo or Baltimore, it could go in Josh Allen's favor, and it doesn't matter. You've got to find a way to overcome that odd. You've got to find a way to rally around and overcome that. And the Texans couldn't do that. The Texans sound like a team of excuses, and that's why they're going home, because they were not willing to overcome all of the odds, overcoming their own terrible play calling, overcoming, CJ Stroud getting sacked on every play, overcoming their kicker missing kicks. They were not able to do that. And I don't blame them. That's a lot going against them, but do not make it seem like the refs are the reason that you lost this football game. So Chiefs Kingdom, I want to hear from you guys down in the comments section below. What do you think of the Texans players crying after losing this game to the Chiefs? What do you think about them blaming the refs for their loss? I think it's absolutely ridiculous, but if this is the point that we've gotten to as a society, if this is the point that we've gotten to as NFL fans, I'm just going to lean into it. I'm just going to say, you know what? I hope the Chiefs get, all the calls. I hope the Chiefs get this stuff rigged to go to the Super Bowl and win another one, because at the end of the day, 10 years down the line, 15 years down the line, nobody remembers this. The only thing that gets remembered is a Super Bowl. A Super Bowl goes in the record books. None of this, officiating that, bad call here, missed call there. That doesn't get remembered. It's only championships. So I'm super excited to see what happens next week in the AFC Championship game, and hopefully the Chiefs can get the job done and go to another Super Bowl. So Chiefs Kingdom, that is all I have for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, hit that like button and subscribe for more of the best daily Chiefs content on YouTube. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, go Chiefs.